Hello and welcome. Prompt engineering is one of the hottest jobs in the market right now. Companies are willing to pay up to $375,000 a year for a skillful prompt engineer. And you know what the cherry on the cake is? Sometimes it doesn't need a tech background. And I'm here to teach you all that you need to become a world class prompt engineer. So let's get started and dive right into the presentation and learn all about prompt engineering. Mind you, I'm going to show you everything that you need to learn, all the best tips and tricks, all the best practices in a chat gpt playground. All right, although these techniques will be shown on chat gpt playground, but trust me, you can leverage them on any llm, be it bard, be it anthropic, or be it anything. Okay, you can apply these prompt engineering best practices on any llm. All right, so let's get started and dive right into the presentation. See you on. Hi, welcome back. Let's quickly look at the objectives of this video before we head to the chat GPT playground and try all these techniques in a hands-on way. All right, so what's the objectives? What are we gonna learn by the end of this video? We'll know what is prompt engineering, and we'll also look at the two top parameters that one needs to keep in mind as we interact with llms, that is temperature and Topy. Okay, and I'll show you why they are important, and then we'll see how to write effective prompts. And then in the process of writing these effective prompts, there are certain techniques that you can use, and we'll see what those techniques are. Let me quickly list down all of them here. So first is writing clear prompts. Well, it sounds quite obvious, but I'll show you with example as to how the output from the chat gpt differs if when you give it unclear prompt and a clear prompt. And then we'll look at the primary, supporting, and grounding data technique. Then we'll look at queues, and then we'll also look at request output format. I'll explain what that means. And then system message, few short learning, then breaking down a complex task into a simpler one to get the best out of your llm. And then chain of thought technique, a very popular one. Last but not the least, including chat history. All right, so what is prompt engineering? Let's address the elephant in the room. Let's try to understand what we mean when we say prompt engineering before we go to the chat gpt playground. Well, prompt engineering, is the process of designing and optimizing the prompts to better utilize llm. So llms are trained on huge and massive amount of data. So the skill and the art and the technique comes in interacting it, asking the right question in the right manner is what prompt engineering is all about. So you have to be a little bit smart over here as you interact with llm, and we'll see how those techniques are that you can leverage as you interact with it. So prompt engineering is all about designing and optimizing prompt. But why do we need to learn this? As I said, chat gpt or any llm for that matter, like bard or anything, is trained on huge and massive amount of data. So it's very important and imperative for us to be relevant, specific, unambiguous, and the prompt has to be a well structured one. So if we behave and if we use these techniques, then model can better understand our context, where we are coming from, and it will generate more accurate responses. That's the reason we have to learn and use these techniques as we interact with prompt engineering. Yeah, anyone can go to these llms and type in whatever that they can think of, but asking it in the right manner with right technique is the art, and is the crucial thing for us to get the best out of llms. All right, so let's see. Let's try to understand temperature and Topy parameter first. All right, so let me head right to the playground. Sorry about that. Okay, there you go. So here we are on the chat gpt playground, and I'm using the complete mode over here, though it's legacy, but I'm using it right now because it gives us these, it shows the probabilities, which is crucial for us to understand. I'll explain in a bit what that means. So people usually, you might be familiar with this particular window where people come and interact with. However, in order to leverage or modify temperature and Topy values, this is the window that you need to go to. I'll include the URL of this in the description. All right. So let me explain temperature and Topy first. So these two parameters are very crucial, and they control the creativity and randomness of the LLM or ChatGPT here. So if we keep the temperature value to 1, what this means is the ChatGPT would generate more creative and more random responses. Okay. So let's try that out. Let me just say I went to, okay, and let me just click on submit and see what the chat gpt says. It says I went to the incredible event, uh, big match, lucky day, with my friend and fellow. Well, I think it has included all the random stuff that it can. Let me do one thing. Let me just minimize the maximum length. So this maximum length is the length of output we would want from ChatGPT. I don't want it to give me 100 tokens. So 100 indicates here 100 tokens, not characters or not words in English language, but 100 tokens. And you may already be aware. If you are not sure, you can probably go ahead and watch my earlier videos where I explain how ChatGPT or LLMs work behind the scene. So when training happens, they convert English text into tokens. That's what tokens are here. So let me just minimize it to 10 tokens. So I wanted to give me answer in just 10 tokens, not more than that. So let me just clear this out. Okay, so I went to, let's see, I went to the Arctic Circle, and instead of walking into the entry I, okay, so you can see over here, so it has reduced its response and it has given me the answer in just 10 tokens. All right. So now remember this output. So I went to Arctic Circle and blah blah blah. So let's remove this again. Let me delete this again and see what response it would give me if I ask the same question again. Here the capability that I want to show here is the temperature. I want to demonstrate that when we keep the temperature value to 1, ChatGPT becomes very random and creative and gives you different responses for the same question. All right. So let's enter submit again. It says I went to my appointment. I arrived at the doctor's office. Okay. So two attempts, two different response. Let's try again. It says I went to Provo UT Sheriff's website and searched. I don't know what it means. All right. So as you can see, it has given three different responses for three different prompts. For three different attempts for the same prompt. Okay. Now let me minimize the temperature value to 0. Okay. Now what happens is, if when I minimize the temperature value to 0, this becomes, or chat gpt becomes more deterministic, more repetitive. So it would give the same answer to the same prompt all the time. Okay, let's try it out. I went to the doctor and he said I have a condition called. Okay, let me delete this. Let me ask it again. I went to the doctor and he said I have a condition called. There you go. Two attempts, the same response both the times. I third attempt, again the same response. I went to the doctor and he said I have a condition called. All right. So here I think you might be clear now. So the takeaway is, if you want your answer to be same all the time, okay, repetitive, deterministic, then temperature value can be reduced to 0. However, if you want it to be creative and give it different response all the time, be random, then you have to make keep it above 0, uh, 1 till 1 or more. Okay, if you keep it to 2, it becomes too random. All right. As you can see, temperature controls randomness, lowering results in less random completions. As the temperature approaches 0, the model will become deterministic and repetitive. There you go. All right. So now we've learned about temperature and how it behaves. Now let's talk about Topy. And I want to mention this here is that both these temperature and Topy uh, control randomness, controls creativity. Now, but they differ in the way they behave. All right. So how Topy works is controls diversity via nucleus sampling. Let me just show it via demo instead of just giving a definition. So let me reduce the Topy value to 5, and I'll show you what happens and what that signifies. Okay, so when it says I went to, okay, let me yeah, okay, submit. I went to see the new movie Crazy Rich Asians. All right, so now it has given us a different response, not the one that it gave before. So top p value, what we are saying by keeping top p value zero point 0.5 is that we are asking ChatGPT to include all tokens that are in the top, that falls under top 50% of the tokens that it has generated. Okay, so what happens, as we already know, that when we ask it anything, behind the scenes it does probability, it predicts things and give us this output. So uh, and it converts English text into tokens, right? So when we keep top p value to zero point 0.5, we are saying give us the answer from the top 50% of the tokens that you have generated. Okay, that's the reason you can see, so it generated all these. I went to the a my bed. So there was a likelihood of uh, you know occurring any of these five words, but it chose C. Okay, it's random. We don't have control as to which one it can choose, but we can at least control the percentage that it can choose. So these five fell onto the first 50% of the tokens that it generated. Okay, so yeah, that's what temperature and top p values are very important in terms of prompt engineering, in terms of interacting with them and the kind of output that you expect from chat gpt. All right, so let me head back to the presentation again. So both these parameters, as I said, control randomness, and we saw that in action how they work. Now, the other thing that I want to show you is this snippet, which is very important. So what what values of temperature and Topy should you keep? So here are a few use cases that you can take into account. So if you are generating code, then you may think of keeping temperature to zero point 0 and Topy to zero point 0.1. And if you are, let's say, doing creative writing, then zero point 0.7 and zero point 0.8, chatbot responses zero point 5, zero point 0.5, code comment zero point 0.3, 0.2, data analysis and explanatory code writing, you may want to keep it as the one that you see over here. All right, hope this was helpful. Let me head to the next section then. Providing clear instruction. We know that chat gpt or any llm works best when we provide clear instructions to it. So let's see how it differs if we give it a clear prompt and an unclear prompt. Okay, let's look at the example. So let's say I want to write a product description for a new water bottle. Okay, and I want to say, I want to and the water bottle is 100% recycled, and I want to also say that the water will have natural color, no dyes. Okay, so what I do is, I, instead of saying that, I just say write a product description for a new water bottle. I don't specify anything in detail. So let's see here. Write a product description for a new water bottle. Okay, now I don't want to keep maximum length to 256. I want to reduce it to 100. Okay, and I'll tell you why. And I don't want to keep it one temperature. I want to minimize this to, let's say, zero point 0.7 or zero point 0.5 maybe. Okay, and I want it to talk, give me a response. that uh, is on point. Okay, I don't want to talk anything random. All right, so write a product description for a new water bottle. Let me quickly submit. And here is the response. Introducing our revolutionary new water bottle designed to elevate your hydration experience to the next level, crafted with precision and innovation. This water bottle is the ultimate companion for all your hydration needs, featuring a sleek, modern design, or blah blah blah. So, you see, I have in my mind that I want it to that the entire description of this sort of water bottle description that I'm looking for is the it's 100% recycled, and it would have no artificial color. It would have a natural color, but for some reason I've not included that here. um, so that's what I'm saying, trying to explain over here. If we have to be extremely specific and descriptive as to what we're looking for. If I just, this prompt is also correct, but it's not the complete one. It's not telling ChatGPT what exactly I'm looking for. So in order for me to generate the more accurate product description, I have to give this prompt. Write a product description for a new water bottle that is 100% recycled. Be sure to uh, eh, be sure to be sure to include that it comes with in natural colors with no dyes, and each purchase removes 100 pounds of plastic from our oceans. Okay, let's see what the response would be now. You go, introducing our 100% recycled water bottle, perfect companion for our eco conscious. Okay, there you go. So it has the 100% recycled water bottle here, and it also has uh, included uh, okay. Okay, crafted from high quality recycled material, this bottle not only helps reduce waste but also minimize the carbon footprint. So, okay, by choosing this sustainable, you are actively contributing to a cleaner, greener planet. Okay, all right. So this has not included the other point that I wanted to say is about the 10 pounds of plastic from our oceans. Okay, each purchase removes. Okay, that it has not included. So let's try playing with some maximum length now and see if it gives a different response. What I'm thinking is that it's falling short of the length that we have mandated mandated it to be within. So let's see. Uh, this, Right. So the eco water bottle is crafted with utmost care. No, I think now as well it has not included 10 pounds of plastic that we are removing from oceans with each purchase. So let's try to increase the temperature value now. Okay. To let's make it 2.7. Right. Okay. Uh, let's make it to 150. Okay. Let me remove this. Let me try generating the response again. Mm, there you go. Now this time it has generated the output that I wanted it to generate. Um, what sets our water bottle apart is its commitment to preserving the natural beauty of our oceans. With every purchase, you contribute to the removal of a staggering 10 pounds of plastic waste from your precious marine ecosystem by choosing our water you actively. Okay, so as we know that ChatGPT, is prone to giving incorrect response as well. So it's our duty to cross check this, and then we can modify. So the intention of this was to showcase how giving a clear prompt differs um from the unclear prompt, and it's very vital for us to ensure that our prompts are clear in order to get the sort of result that we want from ChatGPT. Okay, hope this was helpful. And indeed, these playing around and adjusting these values can also become helpful. Okay, so now let's move on. um, we'll looked at the clear presentation, sorry, clear instruction technique. Now let's move on to see how to write effective prompts. All right, so the one way is to make sure that your prompts are clear, and then there are some additional techniques as well. First one, and the second technique is primary supporting and grounding data technique. So what I mean by that is, um, let's see. So in the primary technique, what you do is you give your content. Okay, this is a syntax that it follows. You give your content, and then you say whether you want to summarize this. In this case, I'm saying summarize this article and identify three takeaways in a bullet list. All right, this supporting technique and the syntax, the way it looks like is this: you insert, it has got two sections. In the first section, you give your primary content. Okay, let me just get the laser pointer here. Okay, you insert your primary contact and content, and then in the second block you provide it with more information. Here in this case, topics I'm very interested in, and then you are giving your task here: extract key points from the above email and then put them in a bullet list. And then the grounding data technique is like this: you give it the again content or the grounding contact, and then you say where and when did the field of AI start. Okay, let's try something in action. Let me head here. Let me copy this text. This is the text that I that's from the interview of Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, with Axiom, a very popular um, media company. So here's the text from their article. Let me just try to play this technique over here, and let me write it in here. In comment I say, summarize the above article. All right, let's see. I want to summarize it in 150 tokens. Yeah, let's keep it short. And I click on submit and see what it says. Okay, there you go. OpenAI's next big model, likely ChatGPT 5, will have significant more capabilities than existing models, according to CEO Sam Altman. Altman believes that future AI products will need to be okay. So here is the um, summary of the above article. Now this is the primary um data technique. Now let's see how the supporting technique would look like. Let's head back there. So let me say topics I'm interested in: model name, launched it. Okay, let's ask it. uh, Let me remove this, and then okay, topics I'm interested in, new model name, and then launch date. Let's see what it says. Mm, okay, let me. Okay, now here, sorry, my bad. uh, Here, instead of saying summarize, I'll have to remove this because I can't obviously give this. So the above this paragraph is primary content, this is secondary or supporting, and then here is the actual task that I'm asking the model to do. um, and I say here, as per the syntax, extract the key points from above email and put them in a bullet list. I would say extract extract key points from the above paragraph and put them in a bullet list. All right, let's see. Okay, it has not included it has included the uh, likely to be called GPT-5, the name of the model that we were looking for, and it has not included the uh, you know um, the launch date. I think it was trying to say there is no launch date, but due to token expiry, it did not. Uh, Now let me just increase the maximum length and minimize this and click on submit. Mm, okay, and okay, it has indeed told us the launch or the name of the model, but it is not giving us the launch date because I think it does not exist in the article. All right, cool. So I hope you got the gist of it. And the point that I'm trying to make here is the usage of this technique called primary supporting and grounding data. Grounding data is also similar. You give your grounding content and then you question or seek or extract key information from it. Okay, so grounding data and primary content technique looks and sounds similar, where there is a subtle difference. In the primary data technique, you are doing operation on the data, kind of you're kind of summarizing it. Okay, whereas in grounding you're giving it more context and then querying it from there. All right, hope this was helpful. Let's move ahead and try to understand what are cues. So cues is another technique that you can use as you interact with your LLM. And what it means is that a cues in prompt engineering is like you giving a nudge to your language model to the point to the direction that you want it to go to. Okay, or to the direction you want it to output to go. Okay, so it's kind of guiding it to the way that you want. Okay, so how do you do that? How do you, that sounds very interesting, but how do you do that? Here is an example. Imagine a world where animals have taken over, and write a newspaper headline about a recent event beginning with cat burglars strike again. Okay, let's look at in action. So let me head to the playground here. Let me close this out and add a message. Okay, so you see, if I was looking for an article, then I could have definitely given it till here. Imagine a world where animals have taken over and write a newspaper headline about recent event. However, giving this cat burglar strike again is the actual part where I'm doing the where I'm utilizing the cue technique and I'm guiding the LLM to start with this phrase. Let's see what it says. There you go. Cat burglars strike again. Feline revolutionaries outsmart human security measures, and it's still in the process of generating it. Okay, so and the fact that we've just kept it's taking some time. Uh, let's wait. All right. So let me click on submit again. Oh, um, I think it's falling short of its creativity because I've just kept the temperature value to 0.7. Let me keep it to 1 and see what it does. Okay, let me. Okay, let's try to get a more broader answer to this. All right. So looks like it needs more context to give it a full-fledged answer. But the technique that I wanted to show here, I think, has been proved. Is that if you want to use this technique, you can say the model what's the text that you wanted to start with, and it would start from there. Okay. This particularly comes useful when you generate code. All right. So all right, now let's take a look at request output composition. This comes particularly useful when you want your LLM to give the output in certain way. Okay, so that's when this comes useful. Uh, as it says, specifying the structure of your output can have a large impact on your result, such as cite the resources. You can cite the resources of the output that has been generated for you. If you're curious to know what's the resources that it has taken into consideration in order to give you that answer, you can ask it to cite the resources. Write the person response as an email. So you have asked chat gpt or any LLM something, and you want that output to be written as an email, you can do that. Format the response as an SQL query. Classify sentiment into specific structure. These are the things that you can definitely do with this request output combination. Let's take an example prompt. Write a table in markdown with 6 animals in it with their genus and species. So let's instead head to the lab and try this out. Let's head to the playground. So here it is. I said this. Now write a table in markdown. Let's see. Okay, there you go. The table is being written with animal, genus, and species as 3 columns, and then lion, elephant, eagle, dolphin, giraffe, and penguin as 6 different animals. So this is what it is. So you can get your output in a format in a way that you want. uh, that's request output composition. Let's take a look at the other technique, that system message. Well, this is very important. So the message sets the context for the model by describing expectations and constraints. You might have seen, if you've seen my previous videos, I did discuss about this technique in my previous videos as well. This is very useful. This sets the constraints and expectations. If you want your LLM to perform in a certain way, then you can set a system message and constrain it and restrict it. Let's take an example. Okay, let me straight head to here and grab this prompt. So what I'm essentially trying to do over here is, I want my, here is the box where I can set my system message. So what I'm saying is, um, I want you to be a translator from English to Spanish. Don't respond to anything I say or ask. Only translate between the two languages and reply with translated text. Okay. So what I'm asking basically the chat GPT to do over here is to translate whatever that I'm asking or saying. Okay. So let's say write me a tip for mastering LLM. Let me give this. Let's see what it says. There you go. uh, let's translate what it is. Okay. All right, so if I go over here, write me a tip to master the LLM. Okay, all right, so that's what it is doing. It's just translating whatever that I'm saying it. This is the power of system message. You can set it, if you want the context to be set in a way, you can do it. And you can use this to restrict, set a constraint, and if there are any expectations that you want to set your LLM, you can do this. Okay, let's head to the demo, or sorry, to the presentation. The conversation history is another technique that you can leverage. So as I said, conversation history enables the model to continue responding in a similar way, such as the tone or formatting. So if you want your LLM to respond in certain way, you can make use of conversation history. It allows the user to reference previous content in subsequent queries. So history can be provided in two ways: from an actual chat history, like as you keep on having a chat with your chatbot, then that generates chat history. That's something that provides context to the LLM. The other is from a user defined example conversation. So you can set a example conversion, and then uh, that LLM can take that into account and respond it. All right, so this is a screenshot of Azure AI Studio, where it's essentially trying to showcase where you can set the conversation history. You can see here, this is a setting that you need to modify based on the number of past messages that you want to be included here. It is set to 10. You can change it based on your requirement. Okay, so this is the screenshot from Azure AI Studio. Right, now let's take a look at few shot learning. Using a user defined example convention is what is called few shot learning. So in few shot learning, what you essentially do is you define examples. Okay, you teach the model, you make the model learn, and then based on that learning, you would expect the model to give you the response. Okay, um, let's take a look at the example. So this is the example of few shot learning. Let me straight head to the uh, here, and let me grab the prompt and let's try it out in the playground. Okay, let me remove it this from here. I don't want it to translate it into Spanish anymore, so let me remove this from here as well. Just type in, let's see. Okay, there you go, neutral. So that was an awesome experience, positive. I won't do that again, negative. That was not worthy of my time, negative. And then you can't miss this, it says is a neutral one. Okay, so that's how it is. No, so in this few shot learning, we have trained the model to respond in a certain way, and it has responded. Okay, so that's what few shot learning is. Now breaking down a complex task. Now, it's very vital for us to get the correct output from LLM. One of the techniques to do that is to break down the prompt into simple ones. If let's say if there's a complex prompt, if you ask that particular prompt to LLM, there is a possibility that it can give you an incorrect answer. And to remediate is one of the techniques is to break it down your complex prompt into a simple one. Okay, let's take a look. Let me straight head here and grab this example, and and let's try this out. So what I'm trying to basically, my prompt here is what 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 is the average speed of a car that travels 100 miles in 2 hours. Okay, so I want to know the average speed. So if I just give this prompt and ask ChatGPT to give me an answer, it would give me 50 miles per hour. Let's see. Okay, there you go, 50 miles per hour. But there is a catch to it. Okay, I have not traveled fully in 2 hours. I mean, it was not just completely traveling. I took a pause, I took a break, I had a tea, coffee, I had the refilling done to my car. So there was some time spent as well. So if I don't give this here, then it would calculate incorrect average speed. That's the reason it's essential for me to give it a complete let's go here. Let me copy this, let me come back here. There you go. Okay, like this. Alright, now take into account the fact that we stop 50 minutes for break within those 2 hours. Now, if I give this, let's see, now it would calculate the speed differently in a different way, taking into account the break that I took, and now it's 44.45. So there are a couple of takeaways from this. One is to be clear and precise when we question our LLM, because here I was very precise and clear. I informed the LLM that I took a break for 50 minutes, and that's when it was able to calculate the speed correctly. The second is to break down things into a simple way so that the LLM can understand. All right, now let's take a look at chain of thought. So one of the techniques to break down the complex prompt into simple one is to leverage chain of thought. And what does is, so one useful method to help you break down your task effectively is to ask the model to explain its chain of thought. So with chain of thought prompting, we are asking the LLM to break down its understanding, okay, the way it has interpreted our prompt and then generated the output. Okay, this is a helpful way to understand how the model is interpreting the prompt. Okay, so if you're curious to know what you have given, how model is understanding it, then this is helpful way. By doing so, you can see where the model made an incorrect logical turn and better understand how to change the prompt to avoid the error. So in this way we can understand where the model has taken a logical turn, and then that helps us understand where it's making an error, and then we can accordingly modify the prompt. Let's take a look. So let's play it with couple of prompts. One, let's give it a normal prompt without chain of thought technique, and then let's give it another prompt with chain of thought. So the normal prompt is, what sport is easiest to learn but hardest to master? Okay, let me add here, let me grab this. What sport is easiest to learn but hardest to master? Let's see what it says. Okay, the sport that is often considered the easiest to learn but hardest to master is golf. Okay, fine. But I'm curious to know on what basis is it saying this. Okay, then I'll make use of chain of thought technique and I'll modify my prompt like this. I'll come here. I'll say my prompt is, what sport is just give a step-by-step approach of your thoughts ending in your answer. Okay, so if I submit, here's a step-by-step approach outlining my thoughts leading to this conclusion. Okay, so it's giving you this here. Okay, there you go, it's giving you the entire thoughts, okay, based on which it has come to this conclusion. All right, so that was it. I hope this video was informative and I hope you were able to understand all the 10 techniques that I have shown that you can use to master your prompt engineering and get that high paying job. All right, thank you so much, thank you for joining in. Hope this was helpful and I'll see you on the other video. Take care.